On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome inside episode 384 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan from the home of Matt Murray. I'm in Thunder Bay, Ontario, alongside Brandon Pillar up in Collingwood. Today's episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you. Well, Egor Sokolov is going to have to make sure his car is all set because he's driving from Halifax all the way to Ottawa for training camp. But before he does, he joined us on Locked On Senators. He's back on the show for the first time since last November. And I got to tell you, the English has improved so much, but the personality and the lovingness is still right there. If he's not your favorite prospect in the organization, our goal was to make that the case by the end of this interview. And unlike most of our interviews, we usually write down a ton of questions, at least a way to weave through the conversation. Not this time. Igor's such a beauty, just a free-flowing chat about his teammates in Belleville, going back to Russia this summer, shooting on his brother, who, as a goalie-friendly show, we must point out, he's between the pipes, so we're cheering for him too. Just an overall great chat with Igor. We hope you enjoy it. And afterwards, we get back to our organizational value rankings that include 3 of Igor's Belleville Senators teammates. We'll tell you who they are. This is the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day. Today is Wednesday, September 1st, and Pilsy, let this sink in. There will be Ottawa Senators hockey this month.
Yeah, and we're going to be there, Ross. September 26th, the first preseason game up against the Jets in Winnipeg. Ross, you're making your way there now, and man, I can't tell you how excited I am for that game. Like, I don't care that it's the first game of the preseason, and we're probably not going to see any of the real NHL lineups, but just to be at live Ottawa Senators hockey, can't wait.
And you know, preseason, they have that minimum where you have to have a certain amount of NHL vets. So don't worry, buddy. We'll get to see Nick Holden and Michael Del Zotto in the lineup. But honestly, Igor should be in the lineup for that game. He's on today's show. That's going to be awesome to see him up close and in person.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't get to see any of him in person in Belleville last season. Yeah. So this will be our first live viewing of him if and hopefully he does play. So yeah, it can't come soon enough. I just went today. I downloaded the Sens schedule, the Belleville Senators schedule onto my phone. I started looking up OHL games in Barrie and Owen Sound.
When Levi's in town, eh?
When Levi, Ben Roger, and Chandler Romeo. I've already got all the dates set. I'm ready to go. Hockey season cannot come soon enough.
Oh, man, that gets me so fired up to hear. We are getting a few Unreal interviews. That's our goal, at least, before Sens hockey gets underway. It sounds like the rookies will report to camp on September 12th, hopefully. Sometime that week, they're going to be in town by the 10th and go from there. And I just cannot wait for the day-to-day of being back with Sens hockey in our lives. And the excitement from this last draft class that every expert was quick to put an F beside their name, I say for fascinating, because none of them played more than 20 games. So to get that opportunity, hell, Tyler Boucher is moving into the dorms at BU this week. Ben Roger was on the ice on Monday at training camp with the London Knights. These players are so unknown, and I think that's a great part of the storyline of this Senator season is what has the growth been for the OHL guys who haven't played in forever. Levi Marilainen playing against competition that you can really kind of correlate against different leagues that you know now. He's not in the Finnish Junior League anymore. So, Pilsy, it's going to be a fun year, and what better way to start a fun month, a fun year, than with an amazing interview. What do you take away every time we chat with Igor?
He's just so easy to talk to. Like he really, it's not like, I don't know, sometimes we get a little bit of media player relationship tension. I don't want to say tension, but that kind of relationship in our conversation where guys like Igor, like you're just a couple buddies chatting, and he's a lot of fun. I love just the way that he goes about himself, and he has like a like a smart cockiness to him. You know, he knows he's good, but he also knows he's got a lot to work on as well. And it sounds like he's been doing some good work, especially on his skating. It seemed like he mentioned he was really working on that this offseason.
Yeah, we get into that. We need to talk to elite prospects. They still have him listed at 240 pounds, and that's a bit of a detriment. He told us he's weighing in at 210. Hey, we won't give up too much more of the interview. Let's get to it. But first, a word from our favorite sponsors. Well, two of them at least. Rock Auto's been with us forever, and they've been online forever. So have you checked them out yet at rockauto.com? They're a family business. They've been serving auto parts to customers online for 20 years. Everybody's serving things online now, but they've been ahead of their time. So why not trust who's been trusted for that amount of time? That's what I'm saying. They have everything from engine control modules, brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil. You can even get your new carpet there. If you have cats like Pilsy, they rip up the carpet. You don't want that. Get it fixed at rockauto.com. The catalog is easy and remarkably easy to navigate. Quickly see all the parts available for your vehicle and choose the brands, specifications, and prices you prefer. Yeah, the first two are cool, but it all comes down to the price. Let's head on that a little bit longer because the prices at rockauto.com are always reliably low and the same whether you're a professional or just a do-it-yourselfer. Why spend up to twice as much for the same parts? Don't do it. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. All we ask is that you put Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box. That's Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box. That way they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you.
Ross, I bet your puppy Alfie wished you went to rockauto.com to get some new carpet for your U-Haul van because that guy's been stuck in a truck for the last 20 hours heading all the way to Thunder Bay. So if anyone needs a new carpet, I think it's you guys to help Alfie out. But also, you're at hotel rooms these days, and you know, I bet you're just wishing that you had a great way to watch TV. You could have watched Canada win gold up against the United States in overtime. Nonetheless, that was a sick goal. And there's Alfie right there. And Alfie's probably wishing, Ross, that you guys had direct TV because he's sick of looking through controllers, looking through remotes. It brings you live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So even if you're in a hotel room with your dog, you can find your favorite shows and all the live sports you could ever want. Alfie loves it. Get rid of the clutter, get rid of the confusion, and get your TV together with Direct TV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Contents vary by package. Check it out today, guys. directtv.com.
Alfie, do you want to tell them? All right, here's our interview with Igor Sokolov. All right, we now welcome a very, very special guest back to Locked On Senators. He was the leading scorer of the Belleville Senators. You heard that right. AHL leading scorer in his rookie year. It's Egor Sokolov. What's up, buddy? Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back and chat with you guys.
Oh, 100%. So you've got a busy summer, right? You were back in Russia. Now you're back in your second home in Atlantic, Canada. Take us through your time back in Russia, man. How great was it to finally see your parents again?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely special. Like, you know, I haven't seen them in 18 months. I haven't been actually like home in 2 years. So yeah, it was kind of weird feeling at the start. Kind of, you know, came back home and so many new buildings around my apartment. Like I don't know, like it's crazy to think about how much they can build like in 2 years. But then, just it was, you know, awesome to spend time with my parents, my brother, and kind of see my friends and all family around, cousins and stuff, because, you know, it's been a long time, obviously not seeing them. So, yeah, I had lots of fun, you know, spending much time as I can with my brother because he grew pretty quick on me. Like he's 16 years old now and, you know, he's almost as tall as me. So, you know, kind of, you know, I found that we don't have that, you know, age difference between each other anymore. It's, you know, 5 years before, it's like I'm 16, he's 11, he's still a young kid and stuff. But now, yeah, I could have, you know, just be with him all the time and don't even need to see my body. It's like I could just, you know, spend time with him. So, yeah, then I was able to get back in the gym there, kind of started to get back in the, you know, in the shape. and got on the ice with my brother one-on-one too. I was renting the ice for month-ish, I guess. Yeah, I was getting drills from Ottawa, and basically tried to get better, and then went back. Here I am. It's almost September now.
That's awesome. And Igor, it must have been nice too going back to Russia, because you came over to North America and you had to learn a new language quickly. And now you got to use English every day, and your English has improved so much. How nice was it to go back to Russia and just be able to comfortably go back to your own language?
At the start it was a struggle, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. I was trying to speak English first. Right now I don't think and translate anything in my head. I just can clearly speak to you guys with no problems. But when I went back home, I kind of had to translate English to Russian at the start. And sometimes when I answer my parents in English, they're just like, what are you talking about right now? What language are you speaking to us? And I'm like, oh boy, yeah, it's not going well. It's not going well. But yeah, it took me 2 to 3 days just to get back. And it's awesome to speak my first language as well. Obviously, it's special for me too. It's not as bad because I always on the FaceTime with them and talking in Russian an hour a day or something. So it's not as bad. But yeah, at the start I was thinking English first and the Russian second.
So it was basically the opposite of when Drake was having to Google Translate. Now you're back home and your parents that you're Google translating back into Russian.
Seriously, Tom. Try to talk to them over text message.
So you mentioned your brother too. We're a goalie friendly show. He's strapping on the pads now. He didn't want to follow your footsteps and be a sniper.
That wasn't my mistake. I was putting him in everywhere I could, making a net and just ripping the balls at him, and he would just standing there, poor guy, all bruises and stuff from the tennis ball. And then he just started liking it, and I'm like, why did you choose being a goalie? And he listened to me buddy, you made me. You were putting me. This. Yeah, you literally did that. You were putting me in the net since I was 4 years old and ripping the tennis balls at me. What do you expect? Am I going to be a sniper or a playmaker? Yeah.
I love that, man. Hey, let's talk about the goalies that you got to play with in Belleville this year. There's a lot of them and good guys too. Yeah, you guys had 6 goalies down there in a 25 game season. How was it? Who was the toughest guy to beat in practice? I asked Angus the same question.
Who was the toughest guy to beat in practice? I would say Mendo, because he knows where I'm shooting.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years with him practicing and stuff, so he knows where I'm going to go every time. From which side I'm going to come, he knows where I love to shoot and stuff. So I think that was probably him, because he got that advantage of 3 years, practicing every day, always with each other and stuff. So, but if you take Mendo out, I would say Solgert. He doesn't have any holes in the net, so he covers it all. So that was pretty tough.
The Sogard, I can definitely see that. So I want to get more into that. What was it like near the end of the season? You guys are trying to find your groove, finish the season with a hot start, and then Mads Sogard, the Great Dane, comes in. This Danish kid that's just an absolute monster, 6'7", big goalie. What was your reaction when he came in? Could you guys feel almost a boost of confidence? All right, this kid's the real deal. He's massive, like you said. There's no holes in the net. We can really play with. We can cheat on offense. We know he's going to stop us back there. What was it like when Mads first came into Belleville?
Well, first I felt small.
Yeah,
but I usually never do.
Yeah.
So I felt small, and I'm like, who's this guy? He's I'm just looking at him like that, and we kind of started talking right away because he's a Euro, I'm a Euro, right? So we kind of found our language and stuff. So I knew right away he's an awesome guy. So kind of, it wasn't any problem or struggle to, be a friends with him. And then, I see him on the ice for the first time, and I'm like, man, this guy's going to be good for us. He's going to stop some pucks for me. Obviously, I can't say that we were cheating on offense because Troy wouldn't be really impressed by that.
Fair.
Right. But, but you certainly, felt comfortable having him behind you, kind of if you made a mistake, you could definitely, expect him saving that puck and kind of clear your mistake, right? So, yeah, I felt pretty comfortable playing with him. He's a great goalie, and he got the, everything to be a goalie, size and, his scale, and yeah, he's going to be a good one. He's an awesome guy as well. So, and he works extremely hard. So, I'm looking forward to see him. Maybe he is 6'8" now or 6'9". I don't know. We'll see what he's at now.
Yeah, still a young kid, but I want to touch now on another guy who came in mid-season, and you heard Angus pumping your tires when he comes in and goes on a 6-game point streak right away. Are you like, who's this college kid? I've never even heard of him. 5th-round pick.
Okay, like seriously though, he told that story that where he almost like died on the first practice, right?
Yeah.
He comes on the ice and like I have never seen a guy like I don't know who he is. We weren't drafted in the same year. I never went to def camps right before. It was my first year just going to camp. So I'm like, everybody's talking like, yeah, we got Cruikshank, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, we'll see. He's year older than me, so I'm like, perfect. Like it's another young guy in our team. It's kind of really fun. And that guy comes out and it's like 20 minutes into practice, he's dead. Like I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, he's dead. Like he's tying his skates for like half an hour on the bench, trying to, not to step on the ice. I'm like, oh boy, we got some lazy kid out there or something. And he's like, yeah. And after I found out the story that he literally like was in quarantine and kind of, didn't eat breakfast or anything, got called literally go to a practice right now. So I was like, okay, like, yeah, that makes sense. And then next practice, I see him on the ice and I'm like, man, like, he's a really, really good hockey player. Like that was just one day where if I was on the ice with no breakfast for first time in 2 weeks, I would have died. Like you would have called the ambulance for me probably for sure. There's no way. Way I would make that.
What was the conversation like when Troy blew down the drill in practice and was like, Crooker, let's go?
Oh, I was just like laughing. I swear I didn't know the story. It was funny for me too. I thought the guy's just out of shape and like he just doesn't want to be here or something. Yeah, but then since then, honestly, the next practice he comes in and he scored some nice goals in practice and then he goes just on the mission, like putting points in every game. He set me up for my hat trick against Marley. He passed me on the power play in the center, like it was a perfect play. So yeah. All I can say, like he works extremely hard, and we got to play a couple games together as well in Stockton and stuff. And I thought we did really well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see him next year, and maybe we play on the same line again. If not, but I know that guy's worked extremely hard, and he's gonna be ready.
Yeah, and a great guy off the ice. We had a great chat with him, and he's one of the many kind of new teammates that had their first pro season last year, along with you and some other guys in Belleville. So who was, you mentioned you didn't really know him when he was coming in. Who's another guy that maybe you didn't know too much about, but then you met him, you saw him on the ice, and you're like, wow, this kid's really got good talent?
Well, I knew Abramov before, so we're gonna take that out.
Sick talent though, eh? Holy.
Yeah, like he got some good skills in him. So yeah, I knew him, but let's take on. I would say like Ridley Craig. He was really good. I mean, all the young guys we had. I mean, I can't really just tell you like one guy. Like all the young guys we had. Like first time I seen Lassie, I saw his shot. It was like impressive to see. Like he can absolutely like release that puck crazy. Then Cole Reinhardt, his speed, he's just speedy, like crazy speedy. Then Mark Kastelic is just a unit, and he works extremely hard. Like you can't win a face-off against the guy.
Does he make you feel small too?
Oh my God, he's just a bodybuilder, to be honest with you. I mean, he's just in great shape. He works extremely hard, and he got a skill set and stuff. So like, here's another guy. Then Ridley. Like we had just so many young, talented guys who just progressed over the year. And like even now, I can tell you something. Like if I'm gonna come back to January, and we're gonna go to May, I guess it's just everybody is a different players.
Yeah.
That's how much our team just progressed over a year.
100%.
Not even a year, 35 games, to be honest. We can't even call it a year. Can't even call it half a year.
What did you think of playing the little mini series, playing the same team a couple times in a row? Especially when you were out west, you did that even more so.
I thought it's challenging. I thought it's just because, everybody knows everything about each other, right? Like they know what our power play is going to be like. We're not going to change the power play every game, right? Like what's the point of it? They know our breakouts. We're not going to mess with breakouts every day. they know our system. We know their system. We know their top players. They know our top players and stuff. Like all that kind of stuff. I thought, that was getting pretty tough because all the information they know. Like we played each team 10 to 12 times. Like obviously we knew who was going to be good on Laval when we played them and who expect on power play. Same with Manitoba and same thing with Stockton and all those teams, right? So I thought it's really tough as much as everybody says, like, yeah, the guys haven't seen all AHL league and stuff like that, but you try to play one team 12 times. It's going to get tough, even if you play at the junior level. Like, it's going to get tough because they know every move you do.
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, it's not only tough on the players. I'm sure that's tough on the coaching staff. You mentioned Troy Mann a couple times saying that he won't let you cheat on offense and he keeps it pretty tight in practice. But it seems like he's a coach that players really enjoy. Whenever you hear them talk about him, he seems like a guy that the players get along with. What can you tell us about Troy Mann and his coaching style that makes him so successful? I mean, he just signed an extension, so obviously he's doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first you can just see the guys he just brings up the NHL, like Drake and Josh Norris, Formanton now, like Brandstrom. You just, you can see what he does. And obviously it's right things he does. He's a real player coach. He kind of meets you at the halfway and talks to you when you need, when you need to have a conversation. So you're always like not afraid to just come up to you and, ask you how you're doing and like, what do you feel and stuff like that. So I thought that's a big thing because especially for young guys like us, kind of try to make us feel comfortable at that level, right? Not to be afraid of making mistakes and kind of, just not to be hard on our heads and stuff, right? So I thought that's the biggest point, that he kind of just, helps you to develop in a better player and kind of puts you in right situations to develop, right? So I think that's the biggest thing about him. He just, the player coach who loves having the conversations, and he's tough when he needs to be tough. And he's, having fun when he needs to have fun, right? So, yeah.
Helps that he's a good East Coast boy, hey? A New Brunswick guy. We know those guys pretty well. And then your captain as well. What did Logan Shaw add to the group this year? I don't know if you know him from training. I know his dad was the president of the Cape Breton Eagles when you were there as well. So what kind of leadership did he bring? Because I don't know if you know this, but this is going to be Belleville's 5th year. And it's the first time that they're going to bring back the same captain as the year before.
Yeah, I actually heard that before. Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, I mean, I knew Logan even before Belleville. Like we've been on the ice a couple times together in Halifax, and he's been around because his dad is a president of Eagles, right? So
awesome, dude.
I thought it was just awesome having him around. He kind of was a babysitter, you can call it that way, to be honest. Like we had so many young kids there, so it was like extra challenging a year for him, kind of, because I don't think he ever had that many rookies on the team. And for me, he kind of just told me right before the camp, like he said, like if I'm gonna be down in AHL, like I'm here for you every time, like you need something, talk or whatever. Yeah, so like just don't be afraid to ask me questions and stuff. So yeah, he kind of took me under his wing there and, helped me to just adjust to pro level kind of. So, yeah. And, anybody else you can ask, like any other AHL rookie in our team, like Shazi was, great leader and kind of, just was babysitting us and helping us to adjust.
Yeah, man, it's such a young team. There's a couple more guys I want to ask you about before we finish off with some other questions. But Eric Brandstrom, you brought up, played 4 games with you guys, had 5 points. Like, what was the confidence level when that guy's breaking the puck out of the zone?
Oh, it was unreal. Being on the ice with him kind of, helped giving you that little boost of offensive confidence, right? Like, because he was super confident with the puck on the blue line and kind of making plays and stuff. So, yeah, he was just, when you're out there, you kind of feel like, yeah, you can create something special in the offensive zone, right? So, and especially him running power play and stuff, he's really smart with the puck, and his offensive awareness is pretty high. So yeah, he's one special player, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Decord let us know that the guys on the team called him the branch eyes, and probably for a good reason, because when he's in the AHL, man, he really lights it up. We got front row seats to that when we worked with the team a couple seasons ago. Now, Igor, I want to ask you, and I ask Angus Crookshank the same question. What was it like playing in a season? Your whole life, you've played competitive hockey, you're driving, working hard for the playoffs, but what was it like playing in Belleville, your first pro season, and there's no playoff reward at the end of the season? You know, there's no kind of championship that you're working towards. There's no end goal. How did you guys manage that and continue to stay competitive throughout the season?
I thought that because we were so young and kind of, taking those 35 games under our belt, and helping us to, go into the next year, kind of not being a rookies anymore, right? Kind of know what AHL hockey is. So we kind of took it as just kind of development year, kind of, we wanted to win every game anyways, right? Because Troy is such a competitive guy. He doesn't like losing. And obviously if you're going to ask anybody on our team, we don't like losing. We had a pretty rough start at 2-8, but you got to understand that, how many young guys we had on our team, and many of us didn't play hockey for 11 months. And the last time I played, it was against guys 17, 16 years old, right? So I'm like, okay, we started 2-8, but then kind of, just everybody started keep getting better and stuff. And, we knew just this year is going to be no playoffs, but as long as we're, keep getting better and kind of keep getting tighter as a group. So next year, hopefully we're having a normal year. We were thinking, and it looks like it's going to be a normal year with playoffs and stuff. So, we're going to come in, not as a rookies, we're going to come in as a guys with 35 games under our belt, and we know what to expect from the league. So we don't have to start 2-8. We are, start on a winning note.
Yeah, and I mean, you make a good point. It's something that needs to be remembered. A lot of these guys not playing for a long time, probably the longest stretch in their entire lives without playing hockey, and then you got to jump to the pro league. Now, you mentioned you got better as things went on, and you got some experience. So what about you specifically? What did you notice that you improved on as you kind of got, 10, 15 pro games under your belt and started lighting the lamp a little more once you got comfortable? What are some of the things that you really improved on throughout this short season?
I started with something that first 4 games against Laval, and I had 1.5 shot on net. And I thought, you know what? I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to score a 1 goal in this league this year, I will be happy with that. To be honest, I was like, this is impossible. I said, to myself, I can't even get a shot off my stick. It's always a stick to stick every time. So yeah, after those 4 games, we had a long break again. We had 10 or 11 days off before our next game. So I kind of took it as a, learning process, watched the videos with the Ben Sexton, the forward coach, and he kind of told me what I have to do. And I was just working on it in practice, trying to, it's not all about your feet and at that level as well. You gotta be fast in your head, kind of making a decision quicker, right? So for me, it was just you know what, I'm not the quickest guy, but I gotta make a decision quick, right? I gotta release the puck quicker. So yeah, and then I was just working on that and and then my pace kind of went up as well because we've been practicing in the AHL when I was at NHL camp, and my pace kind of kept getting better and better. So yeah, and then from that point, I kind of just started making the decisions quicker in practice and working on that, and scoring goals in practice as well. Kind of focused on that, scoring every shot, tried to put a puck in the net every time, and then I got my first one. And literally that game was coming up and I got my first one and kind of gave me that, little confidence up. And yeah, since then I was just, focused, not overthinking the game, kind of just play the way I do it. Played Igor Sokolov's way, kind of not overthinking the systems, right? Because at the start I thought I was just, just thinking about the game too much and kind of not focus on myself, what I can do out there, right? So that's what Troy sent me that message as well. He said, you know what, I obviously want you to do systems right, but we know that you're offensive threat, you're the guy who can score goals. So we want you to play your game as well. You're going to do things right, but you got to be yourself as well. So that was kind of main thing. And then my pace just went up and I kind of felt over a year, as the year went on, my skating got better, my straight line skating got better, everything got better. And yeah, so yeah, basically, just a great year for development.
And then you're continuing that development through the off season. I saw you're on the ice with Jill Plandowski, the unbelievable skating coach. Is that what your main focus is, the agility and getting that pro pace continued?
Yeah, for sure. I've been, I slimmed down slimmed down a bit more.
Yeah, you look great, buddy. You look great.
Yeah, I'm down to 211, 210.
Me too, but it's not muscle.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been trying to work on, just to, help my conditioning and everything. So kind of focused on that as well. And, off ice says, well, you got to always work on strength as well, because you don't want to lose the muscle, you don't want to lose the bottles. But most of the thing has been, changing directions and all that kind of stuff. So, and on the ice, it's obviously, the coaches told me that straight line speed is not an issue anymore. It's, all those little changing directions and stuff coming out of my turn. So that's been a main focus. So make sure, I buy myself a little bit more time when I spin off the guy in the corner, so I can, make a pass or cut to the net and stuff. So yeah, that's been the main concern. So I thought, I got a little bit leaner and got stronger and, feel much quicker as well on the ice.
That's awesome. And well, with Dadonov moving on, there's an open spot on that right side. I'm sure that you've seen that, and that could be a goal going to training camp. So what's the plan? When are you going to Ottawa, and when do you expect to be on the ice? I'm assuming for that rookie game against Montreal, you might be in the lineup.
September 9th, I'm driving out. September 11th, I believe when it all starts. And yeah, September 18th, we're playing the first game against Montreal, and September 20th, I believe. That's yeah. So yeah, I'm heading out. Well, less than 2 weeks now. I'm looking forward to that. I'm, last year off season kind of hit it pretty hard when I was working out for 9 months, and now I realize it's 2 weeks away, and I've been working out only for 3 months. So I'm kind of getting all itchy and excited.
Are you doing that drive in one shot? It's like 22 hours.
No, I'm not doing it in one day. That's for sure.
Yeah, up in Quebec City.
I believe it's a 16-hour drive, so I'm gonna do as much as I can my first day and finish it up on the second day.
There you go. Well, it's gonna be an exciting drive, no doubt. Getting back.
Oh, yeah.
I need to ask about the setup because you've played a year for Belleville, but I don't think you've ever been to Belleville. You guys are playing out of Ottawa. What were you guys in, like a back closet? Where were you guys set up in the Canadian Tire Center?
Well, we were practicing in Sensplex.
Right.
But playing against at CDC, and Ottawa would be usually on the road, so we would use their dressing room.
Oh,
for
okay.
Our games. Yeah. So we were able to use all the NHL stuff, so that was kind of cool and awesome for me. Just being able to use their gym and kind of being an NHL dressing room.
Yeah, they've got a great setup there. All right, Igor, we're gonna get you out of there with a couple fun ones. We're big nickname guys. Can you give a 5-star review to Sharkalov? Is that gonna stick?
I love that. Yeah, I will.
Nice.
I love that. Yeah, we'll stick to that for sure. Yeah.
And
what about?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is there any other nicknames on the team that you can let us in on? I know Crookshank was telling us everybody calls him Crooker, except Abramov would call him Kruger, because he wouldn't really pronounce that one right with a Krueger. How about you? Do you have any nicknames for the other guys?
I think we kept it simple. Like, I was in the team, I was Soko.
Yeah, that's what Crookshank said.
Yeah, we kept it really, really simple. I mean, everybody, like Lassie Thompson was Tomer, Reinhardt was Rhino, Kastelic was Casty. Like,
Nice.
It was just like, I removed the last name, nothing really crazy.
Okay, well, Mad Sogar, we got to get the Great Dane rolling with that, because the guy is just a beast in there. The biggest.
I know.
dog
I think it's just too complicated to say that, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. Especially, you don't want to call your buddy great. You got to keep him off the pedestal a little bit. We'll keep pumping that one out, though.
Yeah, you keep it rolling.
Final one. I mean, you had a hat trick and 7 shots on goal against the Marlies. Were you just feeling it that night? Put in good spots? What was the feeling throughout that game?
Crookshank set him up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All credit to Crooker.
Wasn't it? I think it was his first AHL point.
Really?
Oh wow, nice.
I believe so. I'm not gonna promise you on that one, but I believe so, because that was his first game, and he set me up on that power play. But I just kind of it's one of those days when you feel like every shot you take is gonna go in the net. So it's why I took 7. I mean. I wish it was 7 goals, but it was good. I was good with 3, but it was just one of those nights when you kind of, starting from warm up, you kind of feel great and everything is just going right. You kind of feel, you're 100% ready. Sometimes you have those nights where you kind of, extra warm up and stuff like that, but where at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm warm, I'm ready. And then, having a good warm up on the ice, kind of scoring goals out there already. And just like, I knew that it's going to go into the game. And And, my partners and Matt, Pekka and Levitan, we were on the ice and, we got on 2-0. And I knew that he's going to pass me back because he always was telling me, yeah, if we go 2-0, I'm going to always 2-1 or 2-0, I'm going to always pass to you. So be ready. So I passed to him and I knew he was going to pass me back. And then the second one kind of, I was in the right time, the right spot, kind of got that rebound. And, I was glad that I elevated that puck because, the goalie stick save was pretty close to it. And then the third one, yeah, it was a nice setup by Crooker. Yeah, all I had to do just not miss the net.
I love it. Well, hey, you accomplished that goal, and talk about feeling it, man. You had 12 points in the last 15 games and points in 11 of them. So keep that rolling into training camp, man. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. We're going to do it again soon. And we're cheering for you. Pilsy and I are going to be at the first exhibition game in Winnipeg. So,
Perfect.
we're going to have our Sharkalov pom-poms out for that one, buddy. But it's always a pleasure to chat with you, man. And we look forward to seeing all your success this season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Stick taps to Igor for joining us. What an awesome dude. And hey, if you're listening to this and you skip the ads, go back right now because Alfie made an appearance for Pilsy doing that beautiful DirecTV ad. We also want to tell you about our friends at Bet Online. They've been with us forever. Pilsy's parlay of the day, by the way, is on deck. He's been doing his research. You heard him getting the schedule ready. You know that he's got the betting lines there as well because Bet Online is the number one place that we trust and the only place that has you covered for every one of your wagering needs. I'm talking NFL football, college football, MLB playoffs are around the corner. Everything is happening. It's the second best time of year right after NHL playoffs, the fall. Things are heating up in the pennant race in baseball. And then one place that you can get into the action, it's betonline.ag. So go to betonline.ag on your website browser, or you can even do it on your mobile device. It's that easy. Just sign up for a free account right there. Boom. It's so easy. Just put in your information. And then when you make your first deposit, promo code locked on. Promo code locked on. How easy is that? It's simple to type in and you get 50% of whatever you deposit. Just like that. Here, take it. Take it. Take it. $200 gets you $100. Bingo, bango, bongo. It's just right in your account. Put in $100. That's 50 free play dollars right there for you. Now you have to win it to earn it. That's easy. You know that. You have to earn it. So put your mind to the test. Who's going to win tonight? Boom. $50. Well, if you lose, you lose. So what? And you win big. That's the Bet Online way. They want you in the action. And don't you want to be in the action? Don't sit on the sidelines. Get into the action and go to betonline.ag right now and use the promo code locked on to receive a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. It's Bet Online, your online sportsbook expert.
Bet Online, a longtime sponsor of ours, and Built Bar, another longtime sponsor of ours. But just because it's a longtime sponsor doesn't mean they're not coming out with new products and new ideas. It seems like every time I go to the Built Bar website, they got something new, and they continue to impress with their new line. It's protein balls. So these are little they've got almond butter on them. There's coconut. Their new flavor, coconut almond protein bars. They're 100 calories. You're looking at a lot of protein, 2 pieces per bag. I think coconut almond is definitely one of Built Bar's best flavors. So try this in new Built Bar bites, and coconut almond is the flavor to try that. These new protein balls, a delicious snack to pack away. And if you want to get a deal on these, you can use our promo code. You know they've hooked us up and we're hooking you guys up. Use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your next order at BuiltBar.com. So guys, go ahead, try the protein balls at BuiltBar.com, coconut almond flavor. You're gonna love them, and use the promo code LOCKED15. It's Built Bar, the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar.
All right, Pilsy, make sure you're following Locked On Senators on social media at Sens Central on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, lockedon.senators, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you download yours. You can follow us on YouTube as well. Shout out us, Pilsy. We got our first thumbs down. It took 14 videos, but shout out to whoever gave us the thumbs down. It was probably overdue, eh, Pills?
Hey, you know what? You can't please everyone, and it was probably a Leafs fan, let's be honest, or a Habs fan that's pissed off that Kotkaniemi will not be a part of their team anymore.
Or an American that just sees us as Canadian by association. Shout out the Canadian women's team and Marie-Philippe Poulin. Can you be any more clutch? Pilsy, she gets the game-winning goal in overtime of the gold medal game of the Women's World Championships. That's her third game-winning goal that's resulted in a gold medal. She did it in the 2010 Olympics, and then in overtime, she did it in the 2014 Olympics. That is clutch from the Canadian captain. So we want to give a shout out to the women's national team and all the unreal players, and especially Canada's own Jamie Lee Rattray, making the team as the 13th forward. She was a complete rock star all tournament long. So, hey, stick taps to the Canadian women, but we got to get back to our Senators Organizational Value Rankings. We're doing our countdown all the way up to number 1. And today we start at number 42 with a guy who moved up 18 spots, Pilsy. Last time we made these lists, he was just a 6th round pick who was an overager, but you heard Egor Sokolov talk about him. You heard Angus Crookshank talk about him. Cole Reinhardt can flat out fly up and down the ice.
Yeah, I mean, it's that farm boy strength that just gives him a little edge over the competition, and he's got the build for that as well. Like, this is no small kid. You're looking at 6'1", 203 pounds. So he's able to play that style of hockey, and he played a very, very good season, his rookie season in Belleville. So Cole Reinhardt, he deserves that big jump in our rankings.
We got to get him on the show, eh?
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, that'd be great.
We've heard Ridley Gregg tell stories about him as well, about where he was when he got drafted, working out on the farm. He's 21 years old. He wore an A in his final year with the Brandon Wheat Kings, again, as a 19-year-old, 31 goals, 55 points. But you're like, okay, you're playing in that league occasionally 15-year-olds. So you're like, okay, let's see what we can do at the next level. And sure, the numbers don't jump out. He was more in a bottom 6 role in Belleville, 6 goals, 6 assists, but at least one of those was a game winner, and a beauty at that, where he just cut across the middle and snipped one. It was awesome to see, but it was how he got better throughout the season. And he's a guy who a coach would be confident putting out there on the penalty kill, confident at 5-on-5, and he'll stick up for his teammates as well. So when you can get 33 pro games out of a 6th round pick that season, that's pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that for sure, especially someone like Cole Reinhardt, like you said, playing in a more bottom 6 role. And I think he was one of those guys that kind of grew with the team as the season went on, right? Like, I'm not saying he had a bad start, but I think there were some adjustments he needed to make along with some of his line mates, some of his teammates, and they got better as the season went on. And I think we're going to see a much improved Cole Reinhardt this season. And Troy Mann knows what he's got from him. He knows what kind of role we can put him in. And I think it's going to be exciting to watch him, a good WHL kid in his 2nd year pro with Belleville.
So because he turned pro right away after signing and only played in the AHL, he still has all 3 years of his entry-level contract. So it slid, unlike the next guy on the list. We'll get to him after. But Cole Reinhardt, like that's how you make an entrance to pro hockey. I don't think that there's really much to poke at in his game other than you just see the improvement. And like, there's no way this guy's ever going to be a healthy scratch. I think that he's earned a spot on that, at least on the 4th line, being able to grind. And not only that, like the new 4th line, Pilsy, you got to create energy. Like, how are you going to win your shift? And for him, it's beating players to pucks. He always gets there first. And when he doesn't, he's going to separate you from the puck as well. So, hey, up 18 spots. We tried to move him as high as we could because I really liked what I saw from watching Belleville last year. But I think this is a really nice spot for him at number 42.
Yeah, and I think as we go on to number 41, this is some of the conversations we had with his rankings are these 2 players or these 3 players have to go together. Who's ahead of who doesn't really matter, but these players are attached. And our next player on this ranking, these 2 are very similar players at a very similar part in their career. And I think we can move on to him right now.
Yeah, and I will say the third guy who would be in this tier of the WHL kids, maybe later round, is Parker Kelly. But we move Parker Kelly up. You'll hear about him in the next few shows. But down one spot, and I wouldn't say this is any detriment to him, just other guys jumping up. But Mark Kastelic, like, what more can you say? Again, a guy who both Igor and Angus reference when we talk about teammates that impress them. He's a monster. And to
Yeah.
me, he's not going to be like a top 9 guy. Maybe eventually at the NHL level. But you know who Mark Kastelic reminds me of a lot is Zach Smith coming out of junior. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, a fourth line guy can win faceoffs, and if you want to mess with him, do it at your own peril.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get a lot of friends from his teammates, knowing that he's got their back on the ice, like you said, like Zach Smith, and 6'3", 220 pounds at just 22 years old for Mark Kastelic. And hey, there's a reason that he has kind of good reputation on the ice. He's also a great leader. Like, he was an assistant captain, and then he was a captain for 2 seasons in Calgary. So definitely he's got a lot of respect on the ice, not just from his own teammates, but from opponents as well.
Dude, 55 goals in those last, 85 goals in his last 2 seasons in the WHL, 47 and then 38 in 58 games. This past year, he had less points than Kastelic, or he had less points than Reinhardt, I should say, who we just spoke about, who had 12 points. Kastelic had 4 goals and 6 assists, but he brings that prototypical fourth line center build. That's the one reason that separated for me Reinhardt and Kastelic is the ability for Kastelic to play in the middle of the ice.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note too, like this was Kastelic's first pro season as well, right? So for a guy like Cole Reinhardt to play the wing versus Kastelic to have to start at the center position at a pro level, there's a big difference in the difficulty of adjusting to a higher level of competition, right? So I think you could give 2 points leeway to Kastelic there from center to left wing. So I'm fine with that. And I think this is another guy that Troy Mann liked what he saw from him, even though he's a young player and still has a lot to work on. And I think in a bottom 6 kind of more, I wouldn't say so much two-way. He's even more like a grinder type, that he's someone that can be relied upon in the pro game because he's got that pro frame at least. Like, he's not getting beat in the corners. He's not losing puck battles very often. So he's got a good head start on a lot of these younger guys just with his size alone.
What do you think his goals should be for next season to take the step and get to another level?
I think for him, it's going to be a lot of growing pains. Like, when you're a center in the pro leagues, like, you have to figure out how to adjust in the face-off dot, where you need to be at certain times. Defensemen are going to be faster. There's a lot of defensemen he's going to be going up against have played in the NHL already. So there's not going to be a lot of free passes getting around guys in the neutral zone. But I think he needs to continue to use that big body of his. Don't kind of get intimidated by being a little bit slower than guys. Like, use your frame, use your reach, and I think he can have a lot of success this season.
I do too, and I hope that the two of those guys play together in
Me too.
Belleville.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was Kelly and Kastelic. I think Kelly separated himself as a guy who can do a little bit more and create a little more chaos on the ice, and DJ Smith already showing that, hey, you know what? Parker Kelly's got the highest goals per game in Sens history. 1 goal, 1 game, albeit. But hey, Kastelic and Reinhardt, I think those two could work great as a checking line this upcoming season. Now, who's going to be on the right side? I don't know. We don't need to get ahead of ourselves and predict. Let's see how training camp opens down there. But hey, it's going to open soon. And Pilsy went a little long, so we're going to wrap it up with those two. What we will say is the next guy on the list, we got our first Tendy. So goalie friendly show. We'll start our Friday episode ranking section off with that. Also on Friday, Pilsy, tee it up, our Sens Central citizen. This one's awesome. And hey, I was put in a time zone pretzel trying to figure out when we were recording with them.
Yeah, I mean, this is the farthest we've ever gone with our Sens Central citizen. We're going all the way to Australia, to Baruga in New South Wales. And yeah, it was a great chat with Ash Rogers. He's trying to spread the word of Senators hockey over in Australia. And I think it could pick up like wildfire there, because it seemed like there were some other Senators fans in the area as well.
Yeah, we got to continue this train rolling. Any Australian Sens fans, you want to come on the show? I think we've got one lined up already, But
Nice.
if you're interested in coming on, we got to get the word going. We need to be number 1 on the hockey podcast charts in Australia. That's got to be the goal, Pilsy. But hey, my goal right now, get to Winnipeg, settle in, and then we'll be back to chat on Friday. So for Brandon Pillar, I'm Ross Levitan. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Check us out on YouTube if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. Tell that guy who gave us thumbs down, Leafs suck. We're just going to assume he's a Leafs fan. And that's that. So Brandon Pillar, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast. Your team every day.